You know what pisses me off? This whole story about rich people waking up at 5 a.m. Man, I know millionaires who sleep until noon and billionaires who go to bed when the sun is rising. The truth is that the real habits of the rich have nothing to do with what time they wake up. They have to do with something much more powerful, and it's exactly what they do want you to discover. In the next few minutes, I'm gonna show you the 7 habits that separate those who get rich from those who just dream about getting rich. And look, number 5 is so simple you're gonna be pissed you didn't think of it before. But first, let me tell you something. Look, I am not gonna lie to you saying I studied this 4 years or that I interviewed 500 millionaires. The truth is I started studying this topic recently. But what I discovered was so obvious and yet so ignored that I had to share it. You know what impressed me the most? The real habits of the rich are completely different from what the gurus are selling out there. And it's not some coach talk. It's pure observation of what actually works in the real world. So the first habit, look, it doesn't matter if you wake up at 5 a.m. or 10 a.m. What matters is this: the first 2 hours of your day determine the next 22. You know why? Your brain wakes up with a limited amount of dopamine. It's like a battery for good decisions. When you grab your phone and check stories, WhatsApp, news, boom, you burn your battery on garbage. It's like drinking Coke for breakfast. Sure, it works, but you crash in the middle of the day. Rich people protect those 2 hours like it's a vault. Zero phone, zero email, zero stupid decisions. Oh, but I need to check my messages. No, you don't. The world won't end in 2 hours. But your chance to build something great, that ends every day you hand your brain over to the algorithm. Look, I used to be the guy who'd wake up and immediately grab my phone. First thing I'd see, some influencer on a yacht. Great. Now I feel like shit before I even brush my teeth. Then emails, each one a new problem, a new demand, a new fire to put out. By the time I got to actual work, my brain was already fried. It was like trying to run a marathon after already running 10 miles. No wonder I was exhausted by noon. The shift happened when I realized something. Those 2 hours in the morning, they're like compound interest for your brain. Every minute you protect multiplies throughout the day. Now I treat my phone like it's radioactive in the morning. I don't even keep it in the bedroom anymore. Too tempting. It stays in the kitchen, on airplane mode, like it's in timeout. And here's what's crazy. The world doesn't explode. Nobody dies because you didn't answer their text at 6 a.m. But you know what does happen? You actually get shit done. Real work. The kind that moves the needle. Tomorrow, leave your phone on airplane mode until you finish one important task. Just one. You'll produce more in 2 hours than you normally do in 8. And that brings me to the second habit, which is even more controversial. I'm gonna not tell you a secret. Rich people seem unfriendly because they say no to 80% of things. Meeting, no. Birthday party for the neighbor's cousin, no. Unmissable opportunity, no. You know what the difference is between you and a millionaire? You think time is money. They know that time is worth more than money. Money you can get back. Time? Never again. Warren Buffett has this brutal technique. He lists 25 things he wants to do, circles the 5 most important ones, and the other 20? He calls them the avoid at all costs list. But I'll miss opportunities. Dude, you're not missing opportunities. You're missing focus. Real opportunities don't come every week. They come once a year, if that. The problem is when they do come, you're too busy with garbage to notice. Here's something nobody talks about. Saying no is a skill. And like any skill, it sucks at first. The first time I said no to a networking event, I felt like an asshole. Everyone's gonna think I'm antisocial, that I think I'm too good for them. But then I realized something. While everyone was at that event, eating cold appetizers and making small talk about the weather, I was home working on my business. 3 hours they spent networking, I spent building. Guess who made more progress? And it's not just events, it's everything. That favor your friend asks that'll only take an hour? It never takes an hour. It takes an hour plus the time to get there, plus the mental energy of switching tasks, plus the recovery time to get back to what you were doing. That 1 hour favor just cost you half a day. The magic happens when you start treating your time like a budget. You wouldn't give away half your paycheck to anyone who asks, right? So why do you give away half your day? This week, Say no to 3 things you normally say yes to. Useless meetings. Favors that suck your time. Hangouts you go to out of obligation. See how much time and energy is left over. Now, the third habit is what confuses people the most. Think about this. What's worth more? An $8,000 iPhone or an $8,000 course? 99% of people choose the iPhone. That's why 99% of people don't get rich. Rich people invest in things nobody sees: knowledge, network, skills, mentorships. You know what's crazy? Poor people buy things to look rich. Rich people buy things to get richer. I met this entrepreneur who paid $100,000 for a mentorship. $100,000. The mentor taught him a strategy that made him $3 million more the following year. Return, 3,000%. Now tell me, what iPhone gives you a 3,000% return? But I don't have $100,000. You don't need it. Bro, buy a $40 book. Take a $200 online course. The principle is the same. Invest in what grows, not what depreciates. Your brain is the only asset that appreciates over time. Everything else becomes trash. Let me tell you about my cousin. This dude saved for 6 months to buy the latest iPhone. Posted it all over social media. Got his likes, his validation. Felt like a king for about a week. Fast forward 1 year. Phone's worth half what he paid. Screen's cracked. Battery barely lasts till lunch. But the worst part? He's in the exact same job, making the exact same money, living the exact same life. Now compare that to my friend who spent the same money on a coding boot camp. Yeah, nobody gave him likes on Instagram. Nobody was impressed. His phone? Some piece of crap from 3 years ago. But 6 months later, dude landed a remote job making triple what he made before. Now he could buy that iPhone every month if he wanted. But you know what's funny? He still has the crappy phone. Because he gets it now. The phone doesn't make you money. The skills do. That's what poor people don't understand. They see the surface. They see the rich guy with nice things and think the things made him rich. No, getting rich let him buy nice things. Big difference. Take the value of your last luxury purchase like expensive clothes, electronics, dinner, and invest the same amount in knowledge this month. Course, book, workshop, whatever. Compare the return in 90 days. And speaking of brains, the fourth habit is about how rich people save mental power. Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Obama. What do they have in common? They wear the same clothes every day. Oh, but that's just being pretentious. It's pretentiousness worth billions, my friend. Your brain makes 35,000 decisions a day. 35,000, each decision uses energy. What to wear, where to have lunch, which route to take. That's a mental energy vampire. Rich people automate everything they can. Same clothes, same breakfast, same routine. Why? So they have energy left for decisions that matter. It's like a video game. You have 100 energy points per day. What are you going to spend them on? Choosing socks or closing deals? But my life will be boring. You know what's boring? Being poor. Brother, your life isn't defined by the color of your shirt. It's defined by the impact you make. I'll be honest with you. When I first heard about this, I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. Wearing the same thing every day. What am I? A cartoon character. But then I tried it for a week. Just 1 week. Bought 7 identical black t-shirts, and something weird happened. I stopped. Wasting 15 minutes every morning staring at my closet. I stopped second-guessing if this shirt goes with these pants. I stopped changing outfits 3 times because something didn't feel right. And all that mental energy I saved, it went somewhere. Into my work, into my decisions, into actually important stuff. You know what I realized? We're all playing dress up while millionaires are playing business. We're worried about looking successful while they're busy being successful. When you stop deciding on nonsense, there's room to create greatness. Choose 3 daily decisions to automate: clothes, breakfast, workout time. Do the same for 30 days. Notice how much mental energy is left over. Now comes the habit that most transforms your relationship with money. Let me ask you something. A plumber charges $500 to fix a pipe in 5 minutes. Expensive or cheap? Most would say, absurd, $500 for 5 minutes. But think, How much is it worth for your house not to flood? 50,000? 100,000? The guy saved you $100,000 of damage in 5 minutes, actually. He's charging cheap. This is the brutal difference between rich and poor. Poor people sell time. I work 8 hours a day, rich people sell results. I solve your problem for X, a top lawyer charges $5,000 per hour. Why? Because in 1 hour they can save your company from losing $5 million. Value delivered, $5 million value charged, 5,000 happy client, a vary. But I'm not a lawyer. Who gives a damn what you are? What matters is the problem you solve. This completely fucked with my head when I understood it. I used to freelance, charging $50 an hour for design work. I track every minute, send detailed timesheets, justify every hour. Then I met this consultant who charged $1,000 for a 2-hour strategy session. 2 hours? That's $5,000 an hour. I almost choked on my coffee. But here's what he told me. I don't charge for my time. I charge for the 20 years it took me to be able to solve their problem in 2 hours. And it clicked. When a company hires him, they're not buying 2 hours. They're buying the solution to a problem that's costing them maybe $100K a month. He solves it in 2 hours? That $10K looks like pocket change. So I changed my entire approach. Instead of I'll design your logo for X hours, I started saying I'll create a brand identity that'll increase your conversion rate by Y%. Guess what? I tripled my prices, and clients were happier because now they weren't buying my time. They were buying results. Designer, don't charge by the hour. Charge for the profit the design will generate. Personal trainer, don't charge per session. Charge for the transformation. Programmer, don't charge per line of code. Charge for the problem solved. List 3 expensive problems, How to solve. Price based on the value of the problem, not your time. Test with 1 client. And when we talk about problems, we enter the 6th habit. I'm going to tell you something crazy. I met this entrepreneur who has a file on his computer called Museum of Shit. Seriously. He documents all his failures, all the projects that went wrong, all the money lost. You know why? He's a millionaire because failure to him isn't failure, it's data. Look at the difference. Poor person, I lost 10,000. I'm a failure rich person, I lost 10,000. I discovered that X doesn't work. It's like a video game, man. When you die in a level, you don't quit the game. You learn where the hole is and jump over it next time. Rich people see business like this, a game where each death teaches you something. Ray Dalio, billionaire, has this brutal phrase, pain plus reflection equals progress. Did it hurt? Great. Now reflect. What does this teach you? How not to repeat it. But I'm afraid of making mistakes. Are you afraid of making mistakes or afraid of learning? Because mistakes without reflection is stupidity. Mistakes with reflection is elite education. Let me tell you about my biggest failure. I launched this product, invested everything I had. Marketing, website, inventory, the whole deal. I was so sure it would work. I already saw myself driving a Lambo. 3 months later, total disaster. Sold maybe 10 units, lost almost everything. I wanted to die. For real. I spent weeks in bed, feeling sorry for myself, thinking I was the biggest idiot in the world. But then something happened. Instead of deleting everything and pretending it never happened, I started analyzing. Why didn't it work? What did I assume that was wrong? What signs did I ignore? And I discovered like 15 different mistakes. Targeted the wrong audience. Priced it wrong. Marketing message was confusing. Product solved a problem nobody had. Each mistake was a lesson. Expensive lesson. Hell yeah. But you know what? The next product I launched hit 6 figures in 3 months. Because I didn't make those 15 mistakes. Again, that failure was my real MBA. Harvard costs $300,000 a year. My failure cost me $30,000 and taught me more than any university could. Create your failure journal. Every mistake, write down. What happened? Why? What did I learn? What will I do differently? In 6 months, you'll have a personalized MBA. And this brings us to the last habit, which is the most counterintuitive of all. Let me teach you some math they don't teach in school. If you make $100 per hour and pay someone $50 to clean your house into hours, you made $150. How did I make money? Simple. Cleaning alone, 2 hours equals lost chance to make to 100 paying someone. Spent 50, freed up 2 hours. To make to 100 profit, 150. But poor people don't think like this. Poor people think, why would I pay 50 when I can do it for free? Because your time isn't free. Damn it, rich people understand this. Time is the only non-renewable resource. Money you can make more of. Time, when it's gone, it's gone. That's why rich people pay for delivery so they don't waste time cooking Uber to work, while someone else drives assistant to handle emails, accountant so they don't waste time on taxes. But I don't have money for that. Then start small. Pay someone to do your laundry. $30. Use the 2 hours you saved to make extra income. Made $100? You profited 70. This mindset shift changed everything for me. I used to be the guy who drive 20 minutes to save $3 on groceries. I'd spend entire weekends doing taxes to save to 100 on an accountant. I was proud of being frugal. But then I did the math. Those 20 minutes driving, if I worked instead, I'd make $30. I lost 27 to save 3. Those weekends doing taxes, I could have made 2,000 working. I lost 1,800 to save to 100. I was literally paying to be poor, and I was proud of it. Now, I pay for everything I can that costs less than what I make per hour. Cleaning, laundry, grocery delivery, meal prep, everything, and people judge me. Must be nice to have money to waste. Waste? Bro, I'm not wasting money. I'm buying time. And with that time, I make more money. It's a machine that prints cash, reinvests. Now pay for more things. Free up more time. Make more money. It's a growth spiral. Calculate how much your hour is worth. Salary divided by 160. Any service that costs less than that, outsource it. Use the free time for activities that pay more. Dude, let me be real with you. These 7 habits aren't about waking up early or meditating or any bullshit that coaches make up. They're about a brutal mindset shift. Protect your mental energy like it's gold. Say no to the good to have space for the great. Invest in the invisible that grows, not the visible that impresses. Automate the small to dominate the big. Charge for the problem you solve, not the time you spend. Transform failure into fuel. Buy time to multiply money. The truth, 99% of people will watch this and do nothing. They'll go back to Instagram, to the same job, to the same life. But you don't have to be the 99%. Choose one habit, just one. The one that bothered you most not to have. Practice for 30 days. Then add another. In 7 months, you have 7 new habits. In 7 months, you have a new life. The question is, are you going to be a spectator or the protagonist? If this opened your mind, the next video is gonna blow it up. It's about the 3 investments everyone thinks are a bust, but that secretly created more millionaires than the stock market. It's right here on the side. Click now while the energy is high. And if this video changed your perspective, share it with that friend who needs to hear this. See you in the next one. Peace out.